Шановні колеги, ми
Dear colleagues, we continue working in the Ukraine Crisis Media Center, and the topic of our next press conference is one-third of the biggest companies winners of the state contracts for maintenance work in Kyiv are suspected of fraud. And our guests today are Galyna Yanchenko, head of the NGO Anti-Corruption Headquarter, Nechay, expert from NGO Anti-Corruption Headquarter, and Oleksiy Tykhonov, deputy advisor to Kyiv Mayor on Housing and Utilities. Good day, dear colleagues. Thanks everybody who are here at our press briefing. My name is Galyna Yanchenko. I will start the briefing, then I'll give the floor to my colleague Kira, and Mr. Yuri, the head of SBB, will finish it. He's the head of the organization that's among the subcontractors who suffered from this kind of frauds. Today we will talk about non-fair subcontractor, and as we found out, there were a lot of them last year. In general, our organization, Anti-Corruption Headquarters, studies the issue systematically and deeply because big part of the funds of municipal budget goes to repair and maintenance job and different kind of capital overhauls, and not many people know it, but the amount is rather significant. Last year for the capital of overhaul of social infrastructure and residential building, and we mean kindergarten, sport yards, hospital, and so on and so forth, 0.5 billion hryvnia was devoted to this aim. It's not just a huge amount itself, it's also a huge percentage of Kyiv municipal budget. That's why this issue is very interesting for our anti-corruption organization, and we are studying it deeply. We started working in this topic from multiple discussions with Kyiv authorities about it was possible to make a municipal budget online. Was it possible to make municipal taxes open for the citizens for their understanding what their taxes are spent for? And in this repair, we could show how we can make the part of the budget not transparent but also easy for its using. The first part was made in the research and transparency of repair works. It was online anti-corruption map of repairs in Kyiv. It's still online. You can find it at kyivstaff.com. You can find all the objects that were repaired for the last 2 years for municipal budget. And when we were dealing with this topic, and when we got feedback from people whose buildings should be repaired, we found out the whole range of adjacent number of adjacent problems, and one of them are non-fair contractors, because our organization, Anti-Corruption Headquarters, analyzed top 25 companies that got biggest contracts for repair works. And just for your understanding, this top 25 is the amount went to one hands, and it's from 3 million hryvnia to 18 million hryvnia. That is the amount that every company from top 25 got. And the results we got were shocking even for ourselves. According to our research, the sort of companies were found in different kind of frauds. Sometimes these crimes were significant. There were false documents, there were false acceptance certificates, laundering of money, especially in big amounts, and and also agreement in state purchase and other dirty issues. We will discuss briefly about every company from our list, but in general, from this top 25, 9 companies, softly saying, have doubtful reputation. What is important and what was interesting for us, that part of the companies get the contracts for many years already. So they got budget money before. And they were using them in doubtful way. They have criminal cases on themselves, but in 2015 they still receive contracts from Kyiv authorities. And now we want to present you our blacklist of these repair subcontractors with the names all 9 companies. And also criminal cases and frauds they participated. And now I give the floor to my colleague Nechay, who will start the list. Good day. Now I will give you the examples of our list, blacklist of 9 subcontractors from top 25 who got the biggest contracts for repair works. We will start from the smallest to the biggest. We'll start from number 9 of our list, Art and Site. That is a company that got 2.3 million hryvnia to make repair works on heating of 3 residential buildings. But after the works, there was audit, and according to its result, that the cost of the executed works was increased for 500,000 hryvnia, and because of that municipal budget lost this 500,000 hryvnia. Our next speaker will tell you in details about this situation because he could see the results of execution of these works in his own eyes. The next company is BK Altair. They got 4.2 million hryvnia. In 2014, when they just appeared, they got contracts almost for 1 million hryvnia. At the same year, criminal cases was opened against them about false acceptance certificates. Also, in this criminal case, it wasn't just the increase of the amount of the repair works, but also they were making works on the addresses they didn't exist. But notwithstanding the fact, in 2015, this company got 4.2 million hryvnia. Next company, Remontnik AM. In 2015, they also got 4.2 million hryvnia. But this company, because of its anti-competitive conditions on the state level, and anti-monopoly committee prohibited this company to take part in tenders, and they gave them penalties in 68,000 hryvnia. After that, they were trying to give appeals and other kind of claims, but they were rejected. Other company is Budinj Project. They got 5.5 million hryvnia. It was registered in August 2013, and just in 6 months they managed to get contracts for the repair works for 3 million hryvnia. And they also had criminal cases on them. And it didn't bother them, the same as previous companies, to get in 2015 new contracts for the big amount of money. Next company is and at the moment this company doesn't exist anymore. Other company is Technobud company. It's one of the most odious companies because they were founded in 2014, but they were lucky enough to get contracts for more than 10 million hryvnia. The part of works wasn't executed at all, and according to the claim of our headquarters, criminal proceedings were started by Kyiv's prosecutor's office. After that, other criminal proceedings was opened against this company for money laundering, and money was got in criminal waves. After that, they had third criminal proceedings, false acceptance certificates, and false licenses. Next company is Demas Boot. It's also connected to its company with they have common criminal proceeding on money laundering of money that was got in criminal way. In court register of the decision, it was found out that there are other connected companies, the contractors of 2015, Demas Boot, previous company Technoboot, and also contractors from 2014, Biltech Boot, Mega Profi, Altoin, and Kumsekum. In 2004, because they got money for 37.3 million hryvnia, all these companies. And it was established by the investigation that they really were laundering money. The next company is Ukrspetstroj. They got 10.4 million hryvnia. One of the founders of this company is a former MP from Donetsk, from Party of Region, Khomutovsky. His company for the 5 years got contracts for 132 million hryvnia. Out of them, almost 100 million were got during his MP times in Donetsk Regional Council. Also, this company was noticed in giving money to the rally who were against the construction. Next company is Kyiv Mayor, 10.5 million hryvnia in 2015 they got. Again, these companies, the range of criminal proceedings was open. Among them, it is the tax non-payment of taxes. Because of that, budget didn't have 3.4 million hryvnia. Also, it is illegal ownership of the property in big volume, because included into the acceptance certificates the amount of VAT, and it made the price bigger. Except for that, they have one more criminal proceedings. They say that because of abuse of their position, the officials of this company also had property in a legal way. And as the next company is Interstrike, they got almost 15 million hryvnia from municipal budget. And in a few months after finishing the term of the contract, this company with license was on sale just for 4,000 USD. They just eliminated the code of IDRPO, of tax code, but they forgot to do the same with the code of their license. Except for that, that's the only company that have this name. So,
dear colleagues, you had the opportunity to see by your own eyes these cases. So we see the firms that are fake, or those that were established as fake, or that look fake to any person who can think logically. So the firm that started in 2014 take 10 million, then change its name in order to take tenders for millions. So criminal investigations were started against them, but it doesn't prevent them from getting 5 million hryvnias of firms that get 15 million, and in several months sell the firm. So the question is about the capabilities and resources of these companies. that and how they use this money. So these repair works should be done properly, and Kievans should be glad with those works that are carried out for their money. So you saw other investigations and money laundering of those companies, and also you got press kit, and there is a fund sheet where there is a detailed information about these 9 companies.
Ще раз, якби детально, більш деталізовано, ніж презентації.
And here we have detailed information on these matters, and there is a reference to sources, so any person who is interested in this topic can get the information about the registry, about these companies, and that they are really criminals. And according to this, our organization, understanding that in 2016 money were all allocated for repair works, we addressed to Kyiv administration to consider those companies that they provide money with, the money of taxpayers. And we address and call on them not to allow firms with a bad reputation to get money from the state budget. So we address them, and these persons should be punished, those persons who signed the documents and acts of works that were not completed properly, or works that were not carried out, and respectively to carry out some actions in order that those people do not work in administration and state bodies. When we are speaking about corruption, this is not just abstract sums that are stolen somewhere or gotten and spent. We are speaking about quality of life of Kievans, because 500 million of hryvnias were spent. They had to be spent for the needs of Kievans, for repair of their houses, schools, and kindergartens their children attend. And because these fake companies and the responsible, those who are in power, Kievans suffer. So I would like my colleague Yuri to tell us about his condominium that consists of 3 blocks, and Artenside company had to repair this condominium, and they had they stole 500 million of hryvnias out of this project. I give the floor to my colleague Yuri. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. My brief report will be starting from big picture to some detailed facts. So those people, we remember, we want to live in a normal country. No one wants to flee from here. This is a normal state, Ukraine. And today, our briefing is a small step towards living in this good, normal state. So I will be brief. If you are interested, I have primary documents, photos, we have witnesses, residents of the condominium. So we are speaking about the works carried out by this firm. We have 3 addresses, not A, B, and V. So they were warming our houses, and warming started on 2011, and works were stopped because of the lack of financing from the side of administration, and our houses were like this till 2015, and then several millions were allocated, and Artenside took this money. Due to our initiative, Dniprovsky Region Administration confirmed that we are the monitors of quality of works. We wrote a letter to them that they will sign the documents only after our signature. And there was some kind of circus, because the works were not completed, and I refused to sign, and I signed only for 2 buildings, and they should provide written guarantees that they will negotiate these matters. And when the act was still open for 1 building and they didn't complete the work, and without our signature, they were paid for the 3rd project and they just fled. Our residents were very dissatisfied with these works because they were underdone. So the company just disappeared suddenly. The contract was concluded between Kyiv Director of the State Administration of the Dniprovsky region and Art Insight Company. So this is briefly about the case. What I wanted to say is that there are many focal, small issues. One house was warmed for 500 hryvnias. I don't remember exact number. And another house was warmed for 600. So there were 100 and 300 meters of. So they lost some money on the way. So maybe this figure is even more than 500,000. And I don't think they are so wrong, because the system works incorrectly. The system we live in, all this money, they will be spent and misappropriated. So these people, they should be punished, because Kyiv is not a city for people. Only bureaucrats live here happily. So they come to our houses. We are not invited at the meetings. They do not hear us. We are just outsiders now. So the majority of people think how to change system in Kyiv in order that Kyiv be the place and city for Kyivans. So firstly, they should carry out elections to regional houses, because everything is done by the bodies of presidential bodies, and we should have regional councils that cannot be ignored by the subcontractors. And Art Insight is able to carry out works properly, but they should have such conditions in which they cannot misappropriate this money. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to heroes. And the last moment about the city of bureaucrats, where they take decisions, allocate the money, and then they just use this money. And one of the positions of our headquarters is to change the system of money allocation for the projects. When citizens are involved, so there is control of works, and if there are some violations, we can get information about these violations and can stop the violations. And one of our proposals is to introduce programs on co-financing, and for example, program 70% per 30%. 70% is financed by city council and 30% is by citizens. This idea is discussed in Kyiv administration, and it is discussed for 2 years in a row. And now we are one step before the introduction of such a system, where residents finance repair works of their houses, and they are interested in that their 30% were spent for quality works, and that these works were carried out in a full scope. And one step before this introduction of such decisions, in order to repair those facilities, the proponents of this idea, they were before the obstacle, and we have the information that the finance department is the last body that blocks this decision and promotes corruption of millions of hryvnias on these subcontracts. So this is all information we wanted to share. Thank you for your attention, and we believe that this information should be disseminated among population. Olga Lugava, the resident of Pechersk district of Kyiv. There were elections to Kyiv City Council in 2015. I carried out a survey. I took voting lists from the site of CEC, and this is open information. And I saw that those who were nominated in these elections to become deputies of Kyiv City Council from parties, many developers and those who work in the sphere. So there were many developers among them, or some security organizations. So did you conduct a survey with whom these deputies connected to some developers, to some security firms? Do you have such information? Firstly, thank you for your question. So many people try to get money out of it. These are deputies or nominees to these positions. And we presented the information on 2015. You know that there was elections in October that year, and some playing grounds and sports grounds. These were the places of their campaigns of these deputies. They sent their people there, and they visited these places, and they said that it was done by their efforts that these places were restored. And this is 500,000 hryvnias of our taxes. And about the deputies that represent our interests in Kyiv Council, so these are mainly people who represent their own interests, and anti-corruption headquarters will provide a survey we work on about the conflict of interests. If we take Land Commission of the City Council, half of members of the Land Commission, they are directly or indirectly represent developers. And it is like this, so we should work on the clearing these Virginian so we should clear those black holes, and we should understand that we should defend the rights of the Kievans. So the next press briefing by Colonel Lysenko will be in several minutes.